Take a slow breath for a moment and allow your mind to settle, because this message is not arriving to frighten you, rush you, or disturb your peace. It is arriving because today marks a moment of awareness and inner clarity, a moment when you are being gently guided to see what has been hidden not outside of you, but within your understanding of your life and your surroundings. Archangel Michael does not speak in chaos, and he does not move through fear. His presence is always steady, protective, and calm, and when his name appears in your life, it is not to warn you of danger but to help you recognize truth without panic, to notice patterns without anxiety, and to feel protected rather than threatened. Today being the 1st of February is not about urgency in time, it is about alignment in awareness, because there are moments when you are asked to pause and truly observe the people, energies, and situations around you, not to judge them, not to fear them, but to understand where your peace has been quietly leaking and where your boundaries have been silently tested. This message is not saying that someone is chasing you or planning something against you. Instead, it is reminding you that not every influence in your life carries the same intention. Some people arrive to heal you, some to teach you, and some simply to show you what no longer belongs in your space, and recognizing that difference is an act of wisdom, not fear. Archangel Michael's role has always been protection through clarity, and clarity does not come through loud warnings or dramatic revelations. It comes when your intuition suddenly feels sharper, when certain interactions start to feel heavier, when conversations leave you drained instead of uplifted, and when your inner voice begins to whisper, "Pay attention here." You may have recently felt a subtle discomfort around someone, not because they are evil or dangerous, but because your growth has outpaced that connection, and your spirit is asking you to stand firmer in who you are becoming. This message is not about exposing a name, it is about helping you recognize energy. When Archangel Michael speaks of identity, he speaks of alignment, of knowing who supports your peace and who quietly disrupts it, of understanding that protection sometimes means distance, silence, or simply no longer explaining yourself to people who cannot meet you with the same sincerity. This message found you today because you are strong enough to hear it without fear, mature enough to reflect without anger, and grounded enough to respond with wisdom rather than reaction. You are not being told to confront anyone, accuse anyone, or feel unsafe. You are being reminded to trust your inner guidance more deeply than outside noise. The emergency here is not about harm, it is about awareness, because the longer you ignore your intuition, the louder life has to speak, and today is a gentle nudge, not a threat, reminder that you are protected when you choose clarity over confusion and peace over overthinking. As you continue listening, allow yourself to remain calm, open, and grounded, because the next part of this message will not reveal a name, it will reveal understanding, and understanding is the strongest form of protection there is. Take a slow breath before you continue listening, because what matters right now is not urgency, not pressure, and not fear. What matters is awareness. Many people believe that divine messages arrive with noise, force, or dramatic signs, but in truth, the most meaningful guidance arrives quietly, at moments when the soul is ready to receive it. If you are here, listening to these words, it means something within you already sensed that there was more to understand, not about someone else, but about your own inner state. This message is not here to point fingers or create suspicion. Archangel Michael does not work through confusion. He works through clarity. When life feels unsettled, when thoughts loop endlessly in your mind, and when your heart feels alert without knowing why, it is often not because something bad is approaching, but because your awareness is expanding. You are beginning to see situations, relationships, and energies more clearly than before. That clarity can feel uncomfortable at first, because it removes illusions you once relied on for comfort. There are moments when the soul becomes more sensitive, not weaker, but sharper. You start noticing shifts in conversations, changes in behavior, or emotional distance that wasn't there before. This does not mean betrayal or harm, it means discernment is awakening. Archangel Michael's role is protection through truth, not through fear. Truth allows you to stand grounded, calm, and unshaken, regardless of what others choose to do. If someone's intentions no longer align with your growth, you will feel it internally long before anything happens externally. That inner signal is not anxiety, it is intuition refining itself. Instead of reacting, this message invites you to observe. Instead of confronting, it invites you to center yourself. When you stay grounded, nothing meant to confuse or disturb you can take hold. Understand this clearly, divine protection does not always remove challenges, sometimes it strengthens your ability to remain peaceful in the middle of them. The moment you stop feeding overthinking, stop replaying scenarios, and stop assigning meaning to every small action, your inner authority returns. That is when clarity replaces confusion. This is also a reminder to check your boundaries, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Not everyone who walks beside you is meant to walk with you forever, and that is not a loss. It is alignment. When alignment shifts, the soul adjusts naturally. You are not meant to chase explanations. You are meant to trust your inner balance. Archangel Michael stands for courage that is quiet, strength that does not shout, and confidence that does not need validation. If something is being revealed to you, it is because you are now strong enough to see it without fear. Awareness is not meant to scare you, it is meant to free you. As you continue forward, stay present. Stay observant, not reactive. Stay calm, not defensive. When your mind is calm, nothing hidden has power over you. When your heart is steady, no external influence can disturb your peace. This is how true protection works, silently, steadily, and effectively. There is a reason why your inner world feels different lately, even if your outer life looks the same. Many people mistake this feeling for restlessness or confusion, but in truth, it is the sign of an inner shift taking place. When Archangel Michael brings guidance, it does not arrive to disturb your peace, it arrives to strengthen it. What you are sensing is not chaos, it is alignment slowly rearranging itself within you. At certain points in life, the soul begins to outgrow old emotional patterns. Things that once felt normal begin to feel heavy. Conversations that once felt engaging begin to feel draining. Situations that you tolerated before now feel out of place. This does not mean you are becoming distant or cold. It means your awareness is becoming more refined. Growth is quiet, and real transformation often happens without announcement. You may notice that you no longer react the way you used to. Where you once felt the urge to explain yourself, now you feel comfortable staying silent. Where you once felt the need to prove your intentions, now you trust that truth does not require defense. This change can feel unfamiliar, but it is not something to resist. It is the sign that your inner authority is returning to you. Archangel Michael's guidance often works through inner stability. Instead of pushing you to act, it teaches you to pause. Instead of urging you to speak, it teaches you to listen. When you become still internally, the noise around you loses its influence. You begin to see people and situations for what they are, without emotional distortion. This clarity does not judge, it simply understands. If something or someone no longer feels aligned, you are not required to fix it, chase it, or analyze it endlessly. Awareness is not a command to react, it is an invitation to choose peace. You are allowed to step back emotionally without guilt. You are allowed to protect your mental space without explanation. Strength does not always look like action. Sometimes, strength looks like restraint. There is also a deeper layer to this message. When awareness increases, intuition becomes sharper. You may feel guided to spend more time alone, to reflect, or to detach from unnecessary noise. This is not isolation, it is recalibration. Just as the body needs rest to heal, the soul needs silence to realign. In these moments, you are not losing connection with others, you are strengthening connection with yourself. Archangel Michael does not remove your free will. Instead, he supports your ability to make clear choices. When clarity arrives, you begin to understand that not every question needs an answer right now. Some truths reveal themselves naturally when you stop forcing outcomes. Trust grows when control is released. You are not being tested. You are being prepared. Prepared to move forward without carrying emotional weight that does not belong to you. Prepared to recognize what deserves your energy and what does not. Prepared to walk calmly, even when circumstances around you are uncertain. This phase is not about dramatic changes on the outside. It is about a quiet strengthening on the inside. When your inner world becomes stable, your outer world follows. Peace becomes your natural state, not something you chase. And from that peace, better decisions, healthier connections, and clearer direction begin to unfold effortlessly. What comes after awareness is not confusion, and it is not pressure. What follows awareness is peace. A quiet, grounded peace that does not demand immediate answers or dramatic actions. This is the stage where understanding settles into the heart, where clarity no longer feels sharp or overwhelming, but steady and reassuring. You may notice that your thoughts begin to slow down, not because problems disappeared, but because your relationship with them has changed. At this point, Archangel Michael's guidance becomes less about instruction and more about presence. You are not being pushed forward or pulled back. You are being invited to stand exactly where you are, with calm attention. When you stop rushing to interpret every sign and stop forcing meaning into every moment, wisdom begins to speak naturally. It speaks through intuition, through small inner nudges, through a sense of calm certainty that does not need validation. This is also where trust deepens. Trust does not mean blind belief. It means knowing that you do not need to control every outcome to be safe. When you trust the process, you allow life to unfold without resistance. You stop fighting timing. You stop questioning your worth based on external results. You begin to understand that alignment is not about speed, but direction. You may realize now that many of your past worries were rooted in anticipation rather than reality. When the mind imagines future outcomes without grounding in the present, anxiety grows. But awareness anchors you here. In the present moment, most fears lose their power. In the present moment, you are already equipped with enough strength to handle what comes next. There is a gentle maturity that develops in this stage. You no longer feel the need to convince others of your intentions. You no longer feel threatened by misunderstandings. You begin to recognize that silence can be respectful, and distance can be healthy. This is not withdrawal from life, it is discernment. You are learning where to place your energy with care. Archangel Michael's role in this phase is subtle yet profound. He supports your inner boundaries. He reminds you that clarity does not need aggression, and strength does not need loudness. When you choose calm responses over impulsive reactions, you align with wisdom. When you listen before acting, you align with truth. You may also notice gratitude appearing in unexpected places. Gratitude for lessons that once felt heavy. Gratitude for endings that made space for growth. Gratitude for moments of stillness that helped you hear yourself again. This gratitude is not forced positivity, it is understanding earned through reflection. As this message completes, remember this: you are not behind, and you are not late. You are exactly where you need to be to understand what comes next. The clarity you sought outside has been forming inside you all along. Awareness has done its work, and now peace takes over. Nothing needs to be rushed. Nothing needs to be proven. Let calm guide your decisions. Let understanding soften your reactions. Let trust shape your next steps. This is not the end of a journey, but the beginning of moving forward with steadiness instead of struggle. If this message helped you feel calmer or more grounded, take a quiet moment to sit with it before moving on. When you're ready, stay connected by watching the next message in this series, where deeper understanding unfolds naturally. Sometimes, the clarity you're seeking arrives one step at a time.